Good morning. I think this video is going to be a little bit jumpy because it's raining and I'm carrying an umbrella with cats on it. And I'm carrying this book. It's called What is Marriage by Sam and Debbie Wood. It's a really great book. It's very short, very easy to read. Definitely recommend it. But I want to read this passage from chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called Companions. When we first got married, Dawn and Marcia were our best friends. Their life together displayed a great example of companionship because they did so many things together. Not only did they worship together at the same church, they shared the responsibilities of the home and children. Also, in their spare time, outside of their regular 8-to-5 jobs, they worked together to build a private business that they hoped would eventually free them from their jobs and allow them to spend more time together. They participated in the mechanics of their enterprise as a team. They sat with each other as they attended meetings and continually discussed how to improve their business. They planned their future and goals together. They shared common disappointments and struggles. They took time out to enjoy vacations and relaxation time. They enjoyed each other and supported one another in each of these activities. We thought of them as one and always spoke their names together, Dawn and Marcia. We eventually moved to another area, but we kept in touch occasionally. Dawn and Marcia eventually dissolved their original business, but they used the experience they had gathered to launch Donnie into his own business and to set Marcia up in her own retail business. Both businesses thrived, and we were delighted to see them achieve their goals of nice homes and cars that they had dreamed of years before. Then one night, Donnie called. His voice conveyed deep distress as he explained that he had been very busy building his business and was out of town much of the time. When he came home, he was consumed catching up on details while Marcia was busy in the routine of life with her business and the kids. They gradually grew distant because they did not have as much time together anymore. Instead of sharing the details of life together, they were filling each other in on the bare basics of what was going on. Marcia led a very active life. Because of the sports that the kids were involved in, she frequently saw the father of another child participating in the same sports. Marcia and his father cheered for the same team together. They got irritated at the referees together. They rejoiced in the victories together and consoled each other during the defeats. They bonded and became companions because they were doing things together. This eventually led to an affair. By the time Don realized that his companionship with his wife was fading, it was too late because the new bond was too strong. Don admitted to Marcia and the Lord that he had failed to be a companion. He did all that he could to win Marcia's love back, but the relationship was never restored. Don eventually remarried. He understood the importance of companionship and was determined to ensure that he and his new wife participated in activities and the details of life together. After several years of marriage, Don confessed a deep love for his second wife. He was thankful that he was not alone, but he admitted, "I would give anything to have back the life that Marcia and I had." God had divinely joined this couple as one. Read that part again. God had divinely joined this couple as one. Even though they no longer saw each other, the bond that God had created between them was now unfulfilled and left a quiet void. According to Malachi 2:15, another reason God had bonded the Israelite men with their Jewish wives was that they could raise their children together. Their companionship actually extended beyond them as a couple to include their children. Don was experiencing regret that he could no longer have complete family companionship without the mother of his children. No wonder God expresses such urgency when he warns the men to take heed and not deal treacherously. The original bond between a husband and his first companion is supernatural. The longing for the bond with the original companion never totally dissolves. I'm going to stop there. It keeps going. Obviously, it's a whole chapter about companionship, but a couple points, I guess, that I want to make. The biggest one, Jamie, is that we had that companionship early on in our relationship. We did so much together. We talked about everything. We prayed about everything. God was in the middle of everything. We made decisions together. When we all moved in together because of COVID, That was a joint decision that we made. We created schedules for the boys together and planned out their days together and met with each one of them individually. And we did that together. We did meal planning together. We did tons of family games and activities together. And we prayed and we did devotions together. We did that all together. And then over time, things started getting hard and we stopped doing things together. The family got disunited. And I will own my part in that. I did not lead as well spiritually as I should, or in other ways. Having hard conversations was not a strong point of mine. There are definitely a lot of things that I could go back and pick apart and say I need to do all those better. But all I know now is that, all I know is that we need that companionship back, that togetherness, that unity that was there. And I believe that we can get it, and I believe that we can be successful in at it again. Yeah, and this isn't a blame thing either. I'm not blaming you for, stepping away from things and making your own decisions for you and Jake at times. I'm not blaming me for making decisions for me and the boys here and there. It's just something that we can recognize and say, hey, we can do better at. So I guess that's the first and second part is we did it and then we stopped doing it. We did it and we were super successful and then we stopped. And then even since we've been in this house, there are things that we have done together that have been super successful and great. So even though we kind of stopped it as a routine, we have that muscle. We have that muscle. We just need to, work it out more. We need to exercise it more. We need to strengthen it. And I believe we can do that. So I think that's the second part is that, we kind of stopped. And the third part, which is, I think, a really big part for me, I can honestly say I don't have that bond with anybody else that I've been in a relationship with. Yeah, the boys have another mom. And yes, she's always going to be there in their life, but God was not at the center of any other relationship that I've ever had. And I made darn sure, and let's add a different word, that he was here in this one. And that he brought us together. And I sought after him, and we sought spiritual mentors and guidance and wisdom on that. Because I wasn't ever doing this again. So I say that because like Dawn and Marcia, we could just move on, because that's what the people of this world do today. It's all over social media. Your man does this, leave him. Your woman does that, leave him. You deserve better. There's no more hey, what can you guys both do to make this better? What can you do to, I do follow a couple people who are what'd you do to contribute to this? Yeah, shoot, that's the stuff I've got to focus on and work on. But we both need to have that mentality, and I think we can do it. But yeah, everybody else is just yeah, screw it. Just go find somebody else. Why? For another short-term relationship? No. What we had was real, and it is definitely worth fighting for and continuing to fight for. And there's no timeline either. There's no yeah, we can get into all the psychology because there's people on both sides that say all these different things, right? But nobody knows unless they're in this relationship. Nobody knows what we really gone through and experienced, and on both sides of the coin. So, yeah, I'm getting really wordy here. My point in saying all that is we had an amazing thing. God did bring us together, and he was at the center, and I do believe we can get back to that place again. It's going to be ugly, it's going to be imperfect, because we live in a very fallen world, and blended families are hard. I've said that before. And neurodivergence is hard. I've said that before too. But it's possible, and I do believe it's worth fighting for. And I do believe that bond is real. I believe it's deep. Yeah, I just don't, I don't know. I can't see this any other way. I love you, and I want to work this out, and I want to figure this out. So that's that. I hope you are having a great rainy day. I hope that you're nice and warm and snuggled up with a sweatshirt and a coffee or something, and a Snuggie. And yeah, I'm just praying for you and Jake and the rest of the family. And I hope you have a great day.